Narcissism is vastly, vastly misunderstood. It's a very troubling yet confusing pattern cluster of behaviors. Over the years, over the last decade or so, I've really put a lot of effort into trying to understand it, pull it open, get a good sense of what's going on with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, but also a lot of sort of the pervasive over the last decade or so. I feel like I personally believe we have seen a rise or increase of just general narcissistic behaviors in regular people. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have NPD or a full blown case of narcissistic personality disorder, but it's just gotten to the point where it's just really super duper alarming. And so, what I ended up doing today is having I've been using AI more to just explore ideas. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to engage with this new technology and see what it can provide. So what I did today is I started to have a discussion with AI about narcissistic personality disorder (NPD). It's a cluster of behavior and cluster of patterns. See if we could come up with some descriptors, some labels, and some ways to break it down, make it more understandable. And some of the feedback that I got from AI was really, really, really compelling. I think it's compelling, but I'm kind of a nerd for psychology and stuff. I wanted to share some of what it is that this AI was able to come up with. It's very intriguing. Again, if you ask me, if you're kind of into this type of thing like I am, it's fascinating. If you're new here, by the way, my name's Scott. I'm a licensed therapist here in the beautiful state of Utah. This is Salt City Counseling. A little bit of casual mode right now. Not a lot of clients today, working on paperwork and doing some other important things. So I'm just sort of in casual mode right now. So, but I was doing this stuff. I was like, I'm gonna throw on a hat and record some of this real quick because I think it's super interesting. So, kind of before I start breaking some of this stuff down, I um I think it's more important for us to identify these behaviors within ourselves before we look at them, try to find them in other people, which is sort of the tendency today, which is frankly kind of exactly what I'm talking about. The issue is that we're not introspective enough anymore. There's not enough personal accountability. And there's one thing about narcissists: there's zero accountability on their side. Okay, so anyways, this might be a series of videos, by the way, because there's a lot here, and I'm sure this will build out as I explore it more. But one of the first things I asked it is like, can we rename or reframe narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, based on right the patterns of behaviors of exploiting and manipulating people, using them, discarding them, etc. Right. I wanted to start with that. The diagnosis for NPD narcissism, it's very old, it's very antiquated. I think we need a lot more updated information on it. I don't believe that the APA is going to give us that anytime soon because I think their place is ran by a bunch of incompetent morons, which seems to be the case with everything these days. But I digress. I digress. So, anyways, so here are 10 quick um uh at least we're going to start with 10 basic to give you an idea, right? These are descriptors of what's going on with narcissism to help you better understand what's happening with narcissism and NPD. Okay. So based on the prompt that I gave the AI, here's what it came up with. I'm just going to kind of rapid fire these. Ready? Relational exploitation disorder. Starting off strong, starting off very strong. It highlights the exploitative nature. Empathy dysregulation syndrome. Most of these are pretty self-evident, right? It's pretty self-descriptive. Dominance and entitlement disorder. Entitlement. That's a big one. Okay, that's just that's a really really big one. Number 4, interpersonal manipulation syndrome. Oh, jeez. Woo! These are very very excellent descriptors of the behavior. Okay. Later, maybe on a different video, I'm going to get into what is actually happening, which is a breakdown of the self and how I've kind of and some of the ways that I've worked with the AI to kind of combine these things with the exploitative and manipulative behaviors combined with the breakdown of the self. Okay, but anyways, moving on. Self prioritization disorder. Accurate. Emotional predation disorder. Okay. Man, that's that It's so accurate. Emotional predation disorder. So accurate. Oh man. Validation seeking dysfunction. Yeah, celebrities. Excuse me. Grandiose exploitation syndrome. Okay, and number. Actually, there's more than 10. I think just 20. Okay, number 10. Empathic disconnect disorder. Okay, accurate, very accurate. Self-referential dominance disorder. Okay, that's a little complicated. Describes the excessive self-focus and need to dominate social and relational contexts. So true. So accurate. Interpersonal exploitation and grandiosity syndrome. Okay. The interpersonal exploitation piece, man, it hits right there. Emotional resource extraction disorder. Woo! That's a clinical jargony term for emotional vampire, if I've ever heard one. Emotional or emotional resource extraction disorder. It's a fancy way of saying, yeah, you're an emotional vampire. You suck people dry, you use them up, and then you discard them. What is 15? Okay. Number 14, relational entitlement and manipulation disorder. Truth. Okay. And number 15, self-centered dysregulation syndrome. Fascinating. So, I wonder how we're doing on time here. So what I did was go after that, prompt the AI to give me some descriptors based on the breakdown of the self, like the right, the what do we call the identity disturbance factor? Like there's no like the lack of sense of self or the lack of identity, right? The reason why they use people up, why they exploit people emotionally, is because of that lack of right. They don't have a sense of self. There's no lack of identity. That's because there's a lack of empathy. Okay. And all of that, but pretty interesting stuff. Okay, there will be another part two. Actually, I have to go. I don't have. I would keep this going. I don't. I'm actually low on time right now. I have to meet with some clients soon. But I find this really fascinating. If you like this, you know what to do. Like, share, all that. Comment, ask your questions. Give me your feedback. Tell me what you think. If you thought that was cool and interesting, I feel like the best is yet to come. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.